Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who taught us this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, I'm going to play a little bit of this little video. But first, I wanted to get this scripture. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, and verse 17. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel." Okay, and a watchman is someone who's looking out, right? And when he sees the enemy coming, he gives a sound. You know, hey, such coming. Right? It says, "Therefore, hear the word in my mouth and give them warning for me." Okay. This is us warning the people, all right? Starting off with the elders and apostles, okay? This is how they've been, and we've been warning the people. And warning them of what? Of the great destruction that's coming, man. Okay? The famine that's coming. The race wars that's coming. All right? And these things are all in the scriptures. All right? It says, "When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquities, but his blood will I require at thine hand." Okay? And this wicked is speaking about you Israelites. All right? Because these laws, statutes, and commandments were only given to Israel. All right? So we have a job to do, and that job is to warn our people about the destruction that's coming to America, man. Right? It is even at the door, man. Okay?
The impact of President Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese goods is playing out in real time at American ports.
U.S. imports from China just hit a 2-decade low. That's because of tariffs.
It is coming, especially with the significant slowdown in the number of containers coming from China to the US. That means that the inventory will, in the next few weeks, in my view, we will begin to see empty shelves.
What does that mean for the American consumer?
Now, it's going to be interesting because retailers, big and small, have been telling me that we've got about 4, 5, 6 weeks left of normal inventory levels. If this continues on for any duration, we'll have fewer items to select from, spot shortages, and likely prices will increase as they're affected by these tariffs from a host of countries across the Pacific Rim.
In the last few decades, the world economy
shortages.
The impact of President Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese goods is playing out in real time at American ports.
U.S. imports from China just hit a 2-decade low. That's because of tariffs.
So she said that it's playing out in real time, and you can see it at the ports, which means what? That there's no goods coming into America, man. All right. Which means what? That they're the shelves in your grocery stores and in your Family Dollars and your Walmarts, right? And your Targets, right? They're gonna be empty. Okay.
It is coming, especially with the significant slowdown in the number of containers coming from China to the US. That means that they...
Matter of fact, let me grab that. Real quick. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 And we'll start at verse 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble," okay? And the keepers of the house are going into the economist, right? So like the Jake getting over something. But it's going into your economist, man, right? These people you see right here that's always doing these numbers, always checking the economy numbers, you know, the stockbrokers and the Wall Streeters, right? It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble." And why are they going to tremble? Because they're going to see that there's no money coming into America no more, that America is on the decline, all right? It says, "And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease because they are few," right? So there's not going to be jobs out here, man, all right? And that's what you're seeing. That's what you're going to see, all right? That's what you're going to see, man. When there's no product coming into the stores, there's no need to have all these people working here. So what do? They get rid of folks. And that's why you have all these different stores closing down, man. All right? It says, it says, "And the grinding cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened," right? Because it's going to hit them like, damn, this shit over. Like, it ain't no jobs, it ain't no this, no food, no this, right? People going to lose it, man. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low," right? Because there aren't going to be any jobs. "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low," right? People going to be getting up early as hell because you ain't got no money to party, to kick it. What you gonna do with your money? Ain't shit at the stove, right? Even if you had money, ain't shit to go get. It's gonna be goons and goblins out here, boogeymans and shit. So like this.
Inventory will, in the next few weeks, in my view, we will begin to see empty shelves.
What does that mean for the American consumer?
Now, it's going to be interesting because retailers, big and small, have been telling me that we've got about 4, 5, 6 weeks left of normal inventory levels. If this continues on for any duration, we'll have fewer items to select from, some spot shortages, and likely prices will increase as they're affected by these tariffs from a host of.
Right, prices are going to increase, man. Here, let me get that. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 6. It says that I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny." Okay? And a penny is I believe is a denarius. All right? And that's a day's wage. All right? A day's work. It says, "In 3 measures of barley for a penny." Okay? For another day's work, this is what you're going to get. Three measures of barley for a penny. And it says, see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine," which is his truth. All right. But this is talking about is uh, hyperinflation, man. All right. This is talking about where you got to go to work all day just to buy some bread. All day you got to work just to buy some bread. because it's going to be a scarcity on it. So people are going to charge you an arm and a leg, literally. You may have to, you hear me? But literally, I read again, Revelation 6:6, it says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, for a day's wage," man. Yeah, let's see if I can go to it over here. To this word denarius. Okay.
Strong's G 1220. Denarian.
Denarii. It says denarius equals containing 10, a Roman silver coin. In New Testament time, it took its name from it being equal to 10 asses. Okay, a number after 217 BC increased to 16 about 3 point such and such. All right. When you jump down, it says, from the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it was seen that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wage. All right. So this is a day's wage, man. So prices are going to go skyrocket.
Countries across the Pacific Rim.
In the last few decades, the world economy has gotten more connected than ever. But now everything's changing fast. The flow of goods between the world's biggest economy and second biggest economy is totally falling apart. And that's gonna hurt both sides of the Pacific in a big way. Now, I've written a lot about how U.S. imports are way down, but the numbers show our exports are dropping like a rock too. According to CNBC, there's been a 50...
Hey, he said, and the exports, man. So this place ain't getting nothing in, and they ain't sending nothing out, which is going to be real rough, man.
1% decline in exports at the Port of Portland and a 28% decline in exports at the Port of Tacoma. What began as a rapid drop in U.S. imports as shippers cut orders from manufacturing partners around the world has now extended into a nationwide export slump, with the U.S. agricultural sector and top farm products including soybeans, corn, and beef taking the hardest hit. The latest trade data shows that a slide in U.S. exports to the world, and China in particular, that began in January, now extends to most U.S. ports, according to trade tracker Vision.
Hey, this is going to cause people to run up in each other's houses, man. You hear me? Let me get that. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And start up a little bit. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15. Verse 14, so like you. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Okay? And why? Because there's great destruction coming, man. All right? We are at the end of Esau, Edom's rulership. So therefore, he's going to come down with great wrath, man, knowing that he has but a short time. And this is him doing that. Okay? It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." And that sword was Esau's blessing. Okay? Which is any killing instrument. Man. All right. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay. This is talking about Jacob's trouble, man. This is talking about civil war. All right. First and foremost, let's start there. This is talking about civil war, man. Race against race, right? Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay. It says, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. But there shall be sedition among men, okay, rising up against the government. All right. And when you look at what your government is doing, yeah, you can see that's coming. Yeah. It says, and in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And why are they going to be invading one another? Well, it's going to be a lack of food, right? It's going to be a lack of food, man. You're going to have different groups of niggas just uh, clicking up, going up in people's shit, right? It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. Since they're not regarding the government, their kings or their princes, their mayors, their officers, they gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. Niggas gonna be doing whatever the fuck they want to do out here, man. All in the name of shit. I gotta live. I gotta eat. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? Because when all hell break loose, this devil gonna issue martial law, man, and he gonna block the streets off, certain streets, certain freeways, certain routes. He gonna block off. Verse 18 it says, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, man. So these women gonna be afraid times 10. Okay. I just seen something that was talking about how all the salons, how all these salons, the beauty salons, it's like they getting ready to start closing down, man. Yeah, this shit is getting real. Verse 19, 2 Ezra 15 and 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. All right. It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And why are they going to do this? And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. Okay? So these people are going to be forced into some dog eat dog world, man. Okay? This is what's coming. All right? This is what this is about.
Which analyzed U.S. export container bookings for the 5-week period before President Donald Trump's tariffs began and the 5 weeks after the tariffs took effect. The farming sector has been warning of a crisis, and ports data is showing more evidence of lack of ability to move product out to global markets. Right now, 10 major U.S. ports have seen their export volumes drop by double digits. That's really bad news. China has always been the biggest market for American farm products. In normal years, we sell tens of billions of dollars worth of soy, pork, dairy, almonds, and apples to Chinese buyers. But now, that door has been slammed shut thanks to crazy high tariffs.
Hey,
Soy farmers got...
I'm going to get it again, man. All right, this Revelations. All right. Revelation 6 and 6, it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat, a certain amount. Right? It's going to be weighed out to you. Okay? Jake ain't gonna be able to just stuff their face. It says a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And again, a penny is a day's wage. That's all it is a day's wage. It says, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, man. So this truth is gonna remain. Hey, everything else is gonna fall. If it's not the truth. Okay? Including those who are not taking heed to these videos, to these lessons. Okay? They're gonna fall, man.
Hit the worst with a 125% tariff from China, while pork exports are getting crushed under tariffs as high as 72%.
Right, you niggas ain't supposed to be eating no pork no damn way, man. And you niggas, when you can't get your fix, I ain't no telling what you gonna do. It's gonna be some cannibalism going on, man.
Dairy prices, things we all buy like cheese and milk, are going up as China and Mexico head back. California almond growers and Washington apple farmers are feeling the pain too, as Chinese and Indian tariffs drive up prices and kill demand. The head of the Agriculture Transportation Coalition didn't sugarcoat it, calling the whole thing a full-blown crisis. According to AgTC, farmers are already losing massive amounts of money. Just this week, China backed out of buying 12,000 tons of pork. That's the biggest pork order cancellation since 2020. Some folks think the U.S. could just sell to other countries instead, but farmers and exporters are saying that there are no other markets that can quickly replace China's demand. We're already seeing layoffs.
And again, this is deliberately, man. Okay, this is all. I'm gonna just get it. All right. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13. And verse 16, it says, and he called of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, man. Okay? This is him moving forward with his agenda, okay? Which is the NWO, all right? To have all the citizens of the world as slaves, okay? To have them all take a MOTB, which is the tiny technology, okay? This is him moving forward with this, okay? Because Jake, not just Jake, but people of the world, man, right? They start thinking about their kids and this, that, and the third. They gonna take their chip, man. It says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Okay, the only people that's gonna have access to buying and selling. All right. Hey, the scripture says, sin sticking close to buying and selling. You hear me? It says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. So these are the only ones that's going to be buying and selling. The ones that take that MOTB, that mark, that charagma. Okay. I just want to do something quick on this, man.
Production cuts and prices dropping 20% for some products. It's hurting everyone in the production chain, farms, truck drivers, processing plants, and more. If things don't turn around soon, a lot of American farms could go completely broke. The trade war is hitting farming so hard that the Trump administration is already talking about putting together a big aid package for farmers. From the looks of it, they're going to need all the help they can get. But it's not just farming getting hit. Our whole retail sector is feeling the pain after Trump slapped steep tariffs on Chinese.
Hey, this is for the whole world, man. Okay? This is not just America. The whole world is about to feel us. Revelations 12:12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." Man. All right, this man's he's at his end, so he's scrambling now. He's trying to warp speed it. He's trying to speed up. Okay. And you niggas, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are not to take the MOTB, man. Okay, that little digital microchip. Okay, you are not to take that. But anyway, I'm gonna close out. All right. So in closing, I want to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Until next time, so long.